Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Calmsden Farm as a lovely rainbow greets us this fine morning as we start a new day here on the farm. It is May the 2nd now. I have played basically a day off camera doing a few bits and pieces after the ploughing of the secret meadow field. I actually spent a lot of yesterday playing off camera. I recorded one video yesterday, the last video. You will notice it is now Tuesday. This is the day I should have been recording the Calmsden save, but I thought I would record Calmsden on Monday because I was too lazy to change the mod folder. As it turns out, I only got one video recorded yesterday, so I've got 2 videos to record today, and I still need to record the Riverview series. What I do need to do, however, is come and do a bit of lime spreading, because what I've done, I've been round and I've mowed a lot of grass. There goes the tractor. He's taking grass up to the BGA for me. I've come in, I've mowed a lot of the fields. When I say a lot of the fields, I do mean I have mowed a lot of the fields off camera yesterday, because I want to try and get the environmental scores up on those fields. So to do that, I've got to harvest, I've got to obviously mow the fields. I've then got to lime spread the fields. And then I've got to obviously nitrogenize them. This one's okay. It does need spraying. As you can see, I've limed it as best as I can. Same with this field over here. I've limed this one. This one's been done too. I don't know about field 10. I can't remember if I've done field 10 or not yet. I haven't mowed this field over here, but this one hasn't got any soil data. It is limed and everything, but I can't get the soil sample people to come and do this field for some reason. When I go into the precision farming menu, oh, I can actually. That's interesting. Didn't let me do that before. Okay, so yeah, need to come in here, do a bit of sprayage. But yeah, pretty much I went round off camera yesterday, got all the grass, as much of the grass mowed as I could. I've got the I got the loading wagon, picked it all up, put it in the shed. Now I've got a tractor taking it all up to the BGA, to the fermenter, turn it into silage. I may then end up selling some of the silage because I'm going to have a lot of it. I just wanted to show you guys what I'd done basically off camera yesterday. Got all the bee juice to sell. So today I need to get some lime spreading done on field 11. I think 10's done, but I can check 10 once I'm out with the lime spreader. Get that done. I then need to go around with the sprayer, obviously spray all the fields that I've mowed, get their nitrogen back up. I even did the cows as well. I did the cow pen as well. Went in there, mowed that, got all that collected up. So the cows should be very happy. I've got all that lime spreaded as well. But what I ended up doing yesterday, I ended up selling my loading wagon and I bought a new one. It's more or less the same. It's just I've gone from having the where are they? Loading forage wagons. I went from having the 32,000 litre one to the which one? No, which one did I go for? Yeah, the 30. I've gone from the 32,000 litre one to the 55,000 litre one now. I did think about getting the 66,000 litre one to make it a bit easier for me to have to do fewer trips. However, I'm pleased I went for the 55,000 litre one in the end, because that one was still a bit of an issue getting through some of the gates into some of the fields, especially those ones near the cow farm. Wasn't easy getting into those. But yeah, so let's jump in the old lime spreader. Hopefully I've got some lime. I have. And we'll go do that little field down near the cows. As I say, I've done all the other fields as I've mowed them. But I didn't really want to spend another episode quite so soon after doing the recent hay and hay baling and stuff episodes of boring you all with videos of me cutting grass. So I ended up, like I say, and time just got away from me yesterday. Like I say, I was hoping to get it done and bring you back and record a couple more episodes, but as it turned out, I didn't really get the chance to. This is not going well either. I don't normally come this way to this field, if I'm being honest. I normally go, I normally, shamelessly have to say, drive through the little stream there. But yeah, I haven't mowed the grass at the pigs. Maybe that's something I will do later on in the year. Nor did I mow this field over here, actually. No. Right through it. Oh. Wet cab. Wet cab, ladies and gents. Maybe this field didn't get limed, but I can lime it now and it'll be alright. Maybe that white stuff over there is lime, actually, that hasn't, for whatever reason, has not been consumed. It's a little bit strange in this year's precision farming, I have to say, because in FS22, you never had to lime grass fields. Never ever had to do lime spreading on grass fields. Whereas it seems in this year's version of precision farming, that every time you mow the field, the pH level does go down. So periodically you do have to come out here and chuck some lime on the fields, which does strike me as being a little bit odd. I'll chuck lime on these fields. It shouldn't make too much of a difference. And back up. Whatever they're supposed to be. Not that it makes a great bit of difference really on grass. So we'll check field 10 while I'm down in this part of the world. I'm going to run out of lime soon. Back to the farm for a refill. Though to be fair, doesn't look like I need a lot, does it? But yeah, what is happening in the world, ladies and gents? Well, before I started recording today's video, I saw the announcement from Giants that the next DLC for the game, coming out in June 22nd, I think it is the Kubota DLC, which is going to be adding some Kubota equipment to the game. A few, I think 11 vehicles and pieces of equipment in total. Not a lot, but it's the first time they've had Kubota as a brand in the game. And it follows on with the tradition that we've seen in Farm Sim in recent years, where the DLC adds a new brand to the game. So, you know, we get some new equipment from somebody that we've never had before. Might not be a lot of stuff, but it's more about adding the brand to the game and Giant showing off that they've got the license, rather than adding a whole deluge and deluge of equipment and vehicles and stuff. Like I say, we probably have to wait for the next game really to see an expansion on the brand's equipment and stuff. But yeah, 11 new pieces of equipment coming to the game in June from Kubota. And what else? Oh, there's also a new feature coming to the game, and I don't know whether this, you know, appeals to anybody in particular. But when you play multiplayer in future, you will be able to ride as a passenger in vehicles. Okay? So, like, for example, this tractor's got its little buddy seat there. You'll be able to players will be able to share a vehicle. One player will be able to ride as a passenger, side by side, with the person driving. A feature that obviously might appeal to some people. I don't really know how useful it is in the game. I would prefer, if I'm playing multiplayer, I would prefer other players to be in their own vehicles, doing their own jobs and tasks, rather than just sitting watching me doing the work, doing all the work. But I guess you could argue that in multiplayer I do all the work anyway. So, you know, is it really going to make that much of a change? But yeah, that's a feature that's apparently going to come with the new update as well. With the DLC. So we get 11 new bits of equipment. And this field's been done. Righty-ho. We'll go back to the farm then. So yeah, 11 new bits of equipment coming from Kubota. I know a lot of people have been asking for Kubota stuff for a long, long time in Farm Sim. And a lot of people have been wondering why that brand has been so absent from the series, from the game. Yes, Giants have finally managed to strike the deal, and Kubota have finally got either the money that they were looking for the license or what have you. But yeah, Kubota's come into the game, which is nice. So June 22nd, for all you season pass holders, you can go and get the Kubota DLC. If you aren't a season pass holder, use the affiliate links and the Giants partner links in the description down below to go to the store and buy your season pass. Or if you don't want the season pass, you just want the Kubota DLC, use my Giants partner code CWATTYESO at checkout when you buy from the Giants store, and you'll get a little bit of a discount. I'll get a little bit of a kickback from Giants as a Giants partner. Everyone's happy, and you'll get your Kubota equipment. The great thing about using the Giants store to buy your DLC is it works with every version of the game, whether you're on Steam, Epic, GOG, whatever. And that's one of the reasons why I do like to say to people, depending on, you know, even if you've bought the Steam version of the game, use the Giants links down below. Get your DLC. It supports Giants a lot more, buying direct from them. And also, you can use it and install it wherever you want, with whatever version of the game you have. Okay? Shameless self-plug there. Use the Giants partner codes, ladies and gents. to get your hands on the DLC. Right, I need to go do some fertilizer spraying then. I know it's raining. We don't normally do spraying in the rain, but... Well, we do spraying in the rain, because that's about all you can do when it's raining. Like I say, I've got the other tractor. He's off driving around. Doing all of the... moving the grass up to the fermenter. I don't know how much grass I've got. Probably ought to have a look at that quickly, really. Have a quick check. How much have I got in storage? There's not a lot left, actually. I would imagine he's probably stopped now, then. Or he will have stopped by the time he comes back. Because he's not going to have a lot to pick up. So at that point, I might get into... How are we looking on the old BGA? We could do with him loading up the BGA a bit, with some, obviously, some silage. We could also do with maybe the tanker, bringing digestate back at some point. The digestate is the tanker is down here at the tank. I do believe, as well, I might have put slurry into that tank. So I could probably do with do a couple of runs of slurry up to the BGA as well. That would be rather useful. And then we can bring it down just like and then bring the digestate back. That is what I'm trying to say when I eventually get the words out of my mouth. I was just thinking of other things. Of course, one of the things as well I've seen today as well was the obviously the video from Millennial Farmer. After for people who don't follow the Millennial Farmer on YouTube, may not be aware, he's been having a bit of a battle in recent weeks in his farm in Minnesota with the weather. They've been having a lot of rain, a lot of heavy rain. Right now, ideally he should be planting. He should be doing his planting, getting his corn and that in the ground. However, a lot of his fields are just sitting underwater, got great big massive lakes on them. They've had an immense amount of rainfall this year, which some people will say, you know, Mother Nature. Last year, if you followed his farm and followed his videos last year, as he was doing the whole as he was doing his real life farming, you'll know he complained quite a lot last year of the opposite problem, whereby they didn't get any rain last year. Didn't get any rain. They had a drought pretty much for the whole year, which really was, you know, really affected the crops and the situation, the farm. But then, not only did they have the drought, which obviously affected crop yield, they did have a couple, quite late in the year, in the summer, a couple of very random, massive hailstorms, which flattened the crop. So not only was the crop poor anyway because it had been dry all year, but then right before the harvest, it got flattened by hail, and a lot of the crop was destroyed. So a lot of the farmers in that north part of the US had very bad times last year with with their harvests, with their crops. And it seems like this year, Mother Nature decided to do the absolute opposite. This year, Mother Nature was giving him last year's rain and this year's rain all at the same time. So a lot of his recent videos, he's been out, he's been working on some fields, trying to do what they can on the fields to get the fields ready for planting. So removing some fences from some new fields, removing trees from new fields that they've got this year, removing scrub land and bush land and stuff like that to try and maximise the amount of area they've got for seeding and planting. You know, all that stuff that, you know, he can do. But then last week, they got a warning, a tornado warning. So obviously in that situation, he and the wife quickly went out and moved as much of the equipment they could undercover into the sheds. And then I think he said they got about 40 minutes warning. I mean, they're already having rain and high winds. They were already in a storm. But then they got the tornado warning and they got about 40 minutes notice. And in the video that Zach's put out today, it shows you him in the, you know, as the storm's going on, he keeps going, you know, the wife and the kids are in the basement of the house, obviously where it's safest to be in a tornado and a storm. They're down there sheltering, and he keeps going up, having a look out the windows. He keeps going outside into the garden, having a bit of a wander around, having a look. You know, obviously straight away you can see that a few trees have blown over. The kids' trampoline's gone for a bit of a fly across the farm. And a few other bits and pieces are not looking too great around the farm. He then goes back downstairs for a bit with the kids because obviously the power keeps going on and off, and his little girls, they're getting quite upset by it. He then goes back upstairs again. He's having a bit of a look out the windows, and he notices one of his grain bins. Well, at first he says, "Oh, we've lost the roof off the grain bin." "Oh, that's not good," he says. "Can't see where the roof is, but it looks like we've lost the roof." He then goes, and then obviously as the storm begins, sort of, they reach a bit of a quiet point where the storm kind of dies down for a bit. He goes out for a walk he goes outside and has a bit of a walk, and at that point he discovers the extremities of the situation, if you like. One of his vehicle sheds, one of the sheds which he and the wife put most of the equipment into for protection, it's gone. It's been blown away, blown down. All the equipment in the shed obviously has been severely damaged. The air bar, the combine header, the header on his combine is shaped like a W. It's all bent and twisted. His planter, lot of damage. And he's out there looking around, and straight away he's like, "Oh my god, we've got, you know, a couple of $1 million worth of damage here. I'm just trying to assess the situation." He straight away obviously gets on the phone to his father, rings his father to tell him what they've lost. He then notices the grain bin. One of his grain bins has been completely sort of caved in, and the roof hasn't gone, but the roof is now inside the grain bin, basically. So when he was first looking, from where he was looking from the house, and he's like, "Oh, I can't see the grain bin, the roof's gone." It wasn't that the roof was gone, it was that the side furthest away from him had folded in, and basically the roof had fallen in. So that's why he couldn't see it. But a lot of damage. A heck of a lot of damage. I mean, okay, he says, you know, like he says in the video, I mean, even if, you know, they hadn't had the tornado, you know, the chances of him doing any planting anytime soon, with all the fields heavily underwater, wasn't looking great. But he says, you know, if we had 10 or, 10 days without rain, he says, we could be in the field. We could have been in the field planting. 10 days would have dried out enough that we could have been in the fields planting for the year. We would have only needed 5 days. That he says I would have only needed 5 days to get everything planted. If the all being well and the weather had held off and stayed fine. He says it would have only took 5 days to have got the stuff planted. He says, but now, with the damage to the planter, trying to get, it's going to be a while before that gets fixed, unfortunately. He says it's going to be a while before, obviously, the planter gets... He says, because right now parts are not looking great. He says the grain bin, he says, they're not going to get that replaced anytime soon. He says that's probably going to be a year away. So it's absolutely incredible to see the video. And then obviously he and the wife and the kids, once the storm has passed over, he did get told off by the wife, by the way, in the video. She phones him up whilst he's on the phone to his father, giving him all the damage report while he's outside. She phones him up, wanting to know where he is. And he's like, oh, I'm just outside assessing, obviously, several $1 million worth of damage. She's like, well, get your ass back inside, because if the storm suddenly picks up again, we don't want to lose you. And that's the important thing there, folks. At the end of the day, yes, losing sheds, losing tractors, losing machines is bad, but losing human life is a lot worse. And subsequently, it turns out from... Well, again, if you follow Millennial Farmer on his social medias as well, because this wasn't mentioned in the video that he published today, but one of his neighbours, one of his actual neighbours, sadly did lose their life in the storm. They went out to try and secure a cow shed, I think he says it was. It was a cow shed. And whilst he was out securing the cow shed, he was struck by a grain bin that basically the tornado had picked up. Although the tornado wasn't actually near him, it wasn't like anywhere near him, the tornado had picked up a grain bin from somewhere, and literally, obviously, the winds 110, 120 miles an hour had launched this grain bin, and he was struck by it, and sadly killed him. So yeah, obviously quite severe things happening in the real world, and it does make you think how lucky we are as virtual farmers playing this game that we don't have to contend with any of that stuff. We don't have the fears of any of that coming in and ruining our farms and stuff, but these are the things that real farmers have to deal with, and it's crazy. You're looking at, like you say, when he's going around in the latter part of the video, looking at all the damage that it's caused. It's going to be a while before they're back up and running. This year for them probably now is a write-off. Like I say, because of the damage to the equipment, even if the weather improves and the fields improve that they could have got out there, they're probably not going to get out there and get any planting done. Or if they do plant this year, it's going to be very late in the year, and that then means at the opposite end of the year, when it comes to harvest, they might be struggling then to actually get the stuff harvested and get it in time. So incredible stuff. And like I say, when you see what the damage it's done, I mean, like say to the fact that it's like it's made the combine header, it's turned the combine header into like it's W-shaped the combine header. A combine header's not a light, thin piece of metal. It's quite sturdy stuff, especially with like that huge air bar system on it. And the fact that it's folded that up, it's incredible. The force of Mother Nature, when she's not happy, she gets her angry head on. I mean, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. But I had to laugh at one bit in the video though, when like I say, his dad's there, and then obviously they're going through the damage, and they're talking about what happened. I think in 2000 they had they got hit by a storm in 2013, which caused some damage to equipment, bent some equipment. And his dad says, I wonder if the insurance inspector's going to ask if it's supposed to look like that. Because apparently when the guy came and inspected all the damage after their last storm, like I say in 2013, he looked at some of the equipment and asked, well, isn't it supposed to look like that? Because obviously a lot of these people, they don't know. You know? They don't know what they're dealing with. They don't know what they're looking at. And they just go, well, it's meant to be like that, isn't it? Right, we'll go get some more Grow Better juice. We need to go and do field 10 with the Grow Better juice. There's a little rainbow in the background for everybody. Not the best angle of the rainbow I could get. Maybe I'd get a better one when we're down on field 10 in a bit. Yeah, crazy stuff. 3:30. I feel like I've only just started work today. It's the first time I've sat down to record anything, and it's like 3:30 already. Day's nearly over. I've been very unproductive today. Very late start to things. Need to do better. I know I've got. It's that dangerous little situation that I'm in, where just because I've got videos on ahead, think, oh, I could take my foot off the gas, you know. I don't have to start work at 9 AM in the morning. Really, I do. Can't afford to lay about not doing all day. So yeah, get episode 2 of Calmsden record today. I might get episode 3 done today as well. I might then have to do Riverview Wednesday, tomorrow, in real life. Yeah, can't really get a decent shot of that rainbow at the minute. I can't actually get lower than I need to be. And of course I'm hitting all the trees. Doesn't help. Still going to hit the trees. Oh, another really interesting thing. I had an email response today from Giants to, you know, I've had this little grumble. I've had a bit of a grumble in the game about the key bindings and the issue when you're playing with a controller like I am, that when you open the game menu, you can't close it with the same button. So I submitted a bug report type thing. This was way back at the beginning of the year. We've had then obviously patch 1.3 come out since then, which didn't fix it. We've had patch 1.4 and the hotfix come out since then, which hasn't fixed it. I finally got an email response today from Giants, and all that bug report said was, we have since released patch 1.4 and the 1.41 hotfix. If this problem still persists, please resubmit another bug report. Because it may have been fixed in the recent, but if this problem still persists, please submit another bug report. So it just goes to show, ladies and gents, Giants aren't really reading a lot of the bug reports. They're just closing things. They're just closing things. It's a pain. So I might resubmit another one, just to be annoying, and say, hey, you haven't actually fixed this in patch 1.41. But, you know, that would be me just being annoying. Just me like, hey, don't fob me off with this problem may have been fixed, because you know damn well it hasn't. But I've seen that response, and it's a copy and paste generic response to a lot of bug reports on the Giants bug tracker, where Giants are basically saying, oh, we've released an update for the game, the problem might be fixed, but if it's not, raise a new bug report. And they're just basically wanting to see if people are going to actually complain about the same thing, see whether they can get away with not fixing stuff. I think that's how I would look at it. They're like, well, see if the people are that bothered about the problem they reported that they'll take the time to report it again. Otherwise, if they don't report it again, then we're just going to ignore it. I think that's kind of how the bug tracker is being used at the minute, which is a shame. Not a great look for Giants. And again, as somebody who's worked in IT, worked in software, it's not the best way to do things if you're bug fixing and bug tracking and stuff, is to just ignore the bug reports and see if people will submit them again. Because ultimately the bugs are still there. You're not actually fixing them. You're just covering them up and trying to ignore them. But we'll see. I might submit a cheeky little bug report saying, hey, you know this, I reported this error back in this issue back in January. It still persists. Still persists in game with the key bindings and the user interface. Right then, we have finished spraying. I think that's all the fields I need to spray at the minute. So I guess what I'm going to do, ladies and gents, is I'm going to see you in June when it will be harvest time, ladies and gents. And there's going to be a lot of stuff to harvest. It may well be I might lease myself another harvester this year. We'll see. We'll see how things go. But I may end up needing to get have a secondary harvester to help with the harvesting, because there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of harvest this year. I'm also obviously conscious of my money situation and making sure I've got enough money to buy my sugar beet harvester later in the year when I need it as well. So for now, ladies and gents, I'm going to say thank you for watching today's video. Really hope you've enjoyed it. I will see you all again very, very soon with some more content. But for now, from me, it is goodbye and cheerio, ladies and gents. So, see you soon.